you guys doing today? This is Mechanics Garage coming at you. Today we are working on 2006 Chrysler Town & Country. So this fix is going to go for several years of Town & Country and Dodge Caravans. It's the one with this body style right here. It's a nice rounded Easter egg. This has got the 3.8 liter V6. This may be the same for the 3.3, but I'm not positive, so you might want to look that up on your own just to be sure. But what we're going to do today is we're going to change our oil pressure switch. So the reason for doing this is our oil light keeps coming on, and we've been checking the oil on this vehicle, and it has the sufficient amount of oil. So it's also, we went to take a look and searched around and found this is a common issue with these vehicles, is the oil light will come on, makes the car think it doesn't have enough oil pressure, and it's just oil pressure switch that you'll have to change. So it's pretty easy to find. So if you go ahead and jack the car up, if you look under here, here is our oil filter. We're gonna shine the light up, and right there, where you see that green tab, that's the oil pressure switch. So it's got one of those little red clips that sits on top. We'll have to figure out how to finagle to get that thing off of there. Let's see if I can get a good angle so you can see it. If I shine the light, you can kind of see on top of there with the glare, there's that little red tab. That has to be flicked out so we can squeeze and pull this thing off of the pressure switch. So yeah, shouldn't take too long. I'd say let the car sit for a while so the oil settles, because I'm not sure with this thing how much oil is going to come out of here. But you know, it's recommended that if you're going to change that and the car is about due for an oil change, you might as well go ahead and do the oil change. But this car, it's still got another 2,000 miles and 2.5 months left, so we really don't want to change the oil, so it won't be additional unnecessary cost and labor for the customer. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can let this vehicle just sit here for a little bit and cool off. Hopefully the oil has drained back down to the oil pan and there's no pressure on that that pressure switch. So we've got our replacement part here. You can see it there. It's got the little hole in the end. So the way this thing works is, you know, this is screwed into the block with the pigtail plugged in on this end, and oil goes inside of here when the oil pressure builds up in the motor. And there's a little tab down in there that it presses on to kind of help gauge whether you've got proper oil pressure in the vehicle. And one thing I'll suggest, as you see, this thing has got a really weird shape. It's kind of hard to fit any kind of real socket on there. So they actually have an oil pressure socket. You can get this at your local auto parts store. It's something you want to keep in your toolbox just in case you got to do it again on another vehicle. I'm gonna pop this thing out of here so you can see how this thing looks. As you can see, the shape is on there. And this thing is designed to where it goes right over the top of this fixture. It fits nice and snug. You know, some people will try like I think like a 27 millimeter, I think, or I think it's like 1.25 inches or something like that. I wouldn't suggest doing that because it's gonna have some slop on it and it's gonna be hard to get in there. And this has just got like a little 3/8 spot on the back of it. Or if you can't get your 3/8 wrench in there, because I think sometimes it sits kind of close to where like an air conditioning line or something might be in there, you could throw an open in or a closed in wrench right on top of this thing and be able to pop it right off. So we're gonna get to work. All right, you can see we've got our plug off, got our wrench on here. Go ahead and unscrewing this. And I think it's almost out. And hopefully it comes out of here without any oil spillage. Hey, we got some oil spillage, just a little bit. Let's see if we can get this bad boy back up in here before we lose too much oil. So I did put something down here to catch the oil just in case. But we'll go ahead and do some cleanup afterwards. All right. So now we got that back in there, and we'll take our oil pressure switch socket, screw the rest away by hand, and once we got that snug down in there, we'll just tighten it a little bit with our wrench. And you don't want to put a lot of torque on this thing, but you do want to make sure it's snug down. All right, here's the old oil pressure switch, and it's not supposed to do this. Let me lock it back down on the vise. This isn't supposed to spin. So this thing definitely was corroded looking. Yeah, so we popped our new one on there. So we're gonna go ahead and start her up and see if our oil light is off now. All right, see if our oil light is on. Oil light went out. I think we are all good. All right, guys, that's it. For more tips and tricks, follow us on Instagram at The Mechanics Garage. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. If you got any questions or concerns, hit us up. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Peace.